Hi, 7th grade. We're moving on to Chapter 1, Lesson 2. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you know I took a look at the work that you guys turned in, and it looks good. If something was missing, I left a little comment, like please send a picture of your notes also, or if you didn't send any pictures, I asked you to. Each assignment is worth about 10 points, and so I give 5 points for the notes and 5 points for the completed homework assignment. So if you're missing one of those, I can't give you full credit. So please make sure that you do both, okay? All right, so today we're working on adding and subtracting integers on page 10. So if you want to follow along, that's where I'm at. So we'll start with some rules, okay? So opposites. Two numbers that are the same distance away from 0 are opposites. This was yesterday, right? We were talking about different sides of the number line. However, we're going to build on that, and now in this lesson, they're going to call them additive inverse. Okay, they're additive inverses. And these are two numbers whose sum is 0. So it's going to be the same thing, right? If you have two numbers who, when you add them together, the answer is 0, those will be a set of opposites. Okay, so just new vocabulary, make sure we get it down. And then we're going to jump right into some examples. This lesson in this book, you won't have to do this for all of them, but they start us by using number lines, okay? They really want you to understand the direction that the sign correlates to. So for these number lines, we want to start at 0. And you're going to want to write this down because you're going to, in some of these problems, like I said, not all of them, you're going to have to show using a number line. So you're going to want to start and have the right steps, okay? Maybe I'll label it that way, steps. Okay, so the first one, we're going to start at 0. So in this case, our first example is 3 plus 5. 3 plus 5 is a very basic example, right? We've been doing that for a long time. So if we start at 0, okay, and then move to the first number. So I'm going to move to 3. Okay, so I moved 3 spaces to the 3 because that was my first number. I'm going to use a dotted line to show the transition. Okay, so that now I'm moving to my second number. The sign in front of that second number it determines the direction. Okay, so we're going to use an arrow. Okay, so for this part. So I'm going to circle the plus sign, and plus sign means to go right. Okay, so that's my arrow. I'm going to use an arrow to determine the direction. So that means I'm going to move 5 spaces to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And wouldn't you know it, I'm going to use my dotted lines again. I'm not going to rewrite the word. I'm just going to use the dotted lines okay? And then to show my transition, right, that I'm done with the problem, and then I'm going to circle my answer. We're going to do a few more, okay, just to be sure we get it. So 8. 3 plus 5 is 8. I mean, we all knew that, right? But we have to be able to show it. That's what's going to be important. Okay, let's try another one. Now we have -3 and -5. Okay? Some of you are really good already with your integers, and some of you maybe not so good. When I'm talking about negatives, I usually think about borrowing, kind of like being in debt. So if you borrow $3 from your buddy and then you borrow 5 more, how much do you owe him? We're going to show it, right? We have to be able to prove it. So the same steps apply. So I'm going to start at 0, okay? Just going to lift it up once. I'm going to move to the first number. The first number is -3, so I'm going to move to -3. I'm going to use a dotted line to show some transition. The sign in front of the second number shows the direction. Okay, so there's 2 numbers here. So it's the one that's right in front of the second number. And negative means I'm supposed to go left. Okay, negative is always left. If you don't know that, you should put that in your notes. Positive means right. Negative means left. Okay, so I'm going to go negative to the left 5 more spaces. 5, go transition, my dotted line, and circle my answer. I didn't put an answer. The number line is the majority of your answer, but you should also include it. So when you circle it, that's fine, or you can add it up here. Okay, hope you guys are still with me. All right, so now in both of these cases, the signs were the same, right? 3 and 5 were both positive in our first one. And then in our second one, -3 and -5, they had the same sign. So now let's try one when they don't have the same sign. Okay, so example 3, same steps, but the signs are different. We have 1 positive and 1 negative, okay? So we start at 0, okay? And we move to the first number, so to 3, show our transition. Then the sign in front of the second number shows direction, use an arrow. The sign, there are 2, but the sign that's directly in front of that second number is a negative, which means left. Okay, so I'm going to take from my 3, from my dotted line, I'm going to go to the left 5 spaces. Okay, and this time I end up, even though I had similar numbers as before, my answer is -2. Okay. Last example. Same steps. Okay, so we're going to start at 0. We're going to move to the first number. The first number is -3. So I'm going to move to the left to -3. I'm going to use my transition dotted line. And then I'm going to use the sign that's in front of the second number to show direction. The only sign in front of the second number is a positive. So that means I'm going to move to the right that many spaces. So I'm going to move to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this time I end up with +2. Okay? All right. So if we come up with some basic rules for signed numbers, when the signs are the same, Okay, when the signs are the same, so when we had positives and both were negatives, our answers got bigger. We added the numbers. Okay, so we're gonna make that a rule. When the signs are the same, you add. Okay, you're going to add the integers, and the answer has the same sign as the integers. Right? So when we had two positive numbers, our answer was positive. And when we had two negative numbers, our answer was negative. When we have different signs, so here we had one positive and one negative, and our answer got smaller. Here we had a negative and a positive, and our answer got smaller. So when the signs are different, we're going to find the difference. Remember, difference means subtract. And here we had one negative answer and one positive answer. So it's no always. You have to pay attention to the numbers. Okay? So the answer will have the same sign as the biggest integer in the problem. Okay, so in this case, in this example 3, we had positive 3 and negative 5. Negative 5 is the bigger number, so the answer was negative. In example 4, we had a negative and a positive, and this time our answer was positive because 5, the bigger number, was positive. Okay, so the sign follows the biggest number in the problem. Okay. I hope you got that. All right, so now I want you just to look at a couple problems. We're just about finished up. I know this was a little bit longer. I just wanted to make sure you understood it since I'm not fielding questions as you're getting this information. I will be available for office hours today, so if you want to hop on, please do. Let's just say A, B, and C. If I give you 3, just real quick, and you don't have to write these down. I just want you to look at them and think about the rules. If we have 27 plus negative 24, now these directions will not say draw a number line. Okay, you're only going to have to draw a number line when they're really small numbers, like the numbers we used, okay? But when they're big, you do still have to solve. So you're going to have to remember those rules that we just came up with, okay? So 27 and negative 24, these signs are different. One's positive and one's negative. So in this problem, you're going to subtract these two. And then is your answer going to be positive or negative? Which number is bigger? 27 is bigger. So your answer is going to be positive. Okay? Let's try another one. Again, I'm not expecting you to answer these right now. I just want you to be thinking and recognizing what you're going to have to do for your assignment. Okay, this time we have negative 28 plus negative 32. So now this time they're both negative. So when the signs are the same, we add, and the answer is going to have the same sign. So we're going to add these two to get our final answer, and our answer is going to be a negative number. Okay? Last one. 42 plus 42. This time we have negative 42 and a positive 42. These signs are different. So we would subtract them. This answer is not going to be positive or negative because they're opposites. See how I threw that in? So, because they're additive inverses, the answer is just 0. Okay? All right, you guys, for homework, I think you're ready. This is going to be homework number 2, and we are on page 13. We're going to be looking at problems 7 through 23. So for 7 through 12, I'm actually going to break this up. From 7 through 12, these are the number lines that you have to make. So I want you to pick 4. Pick 4. And then I'm going to have you do numbers 13 through 23 all. Okay, guys? All right, so remember, send pictures of the notes and send pictures of the completed assignment for full credit. Thanks.